Hello, how's it going? We are back. It's been a while. I'm glad to be back. Just wanted to let some of the music just, resonate a little bit. Um, so, if you don't know, Escapism was released not too long ago, and I haven't been making these videos. I was creating, working, all that kind of stuff, life. Tried to stay up with the shorts and stuff like that too. So I was doing something at least, and I'm always constantly trying to make music or ideas and get them out there for you guys. But today I thought we would just go over escapism. So far, it's did pretty well as far as like my content or music usually does anyway. We've been steady growing. I think like a couple months ago, I think every time I looked at the stats, it says the last 28 days, it would be like it started at like 150 every like in the last 28 days, and then maybe a couple weeks later or a month later it's at 200, and I just kept like trying to strive to hit these numbers and stuff like that. While the last 28 days it's like 500, so we are moving up, and that's the way we like it. Obviously, um, it's just cool when you create something and then people actually enjoy it. And some plays, it's not like everybody enjoys it. Some people are just curious to see what I made and I'm up to, or literally just click it just to maybe like hate on it, which I don't understand, but it is what it is. We like those plays. Um, but anyway, thank you guys for the ones who actually do enjoy listening to this. And just seeing like really truly curious to what I got going on as an artist. I really, really, really fuck with that. So thank you for that. Let's just get into it. I don't really know what I'm gonna say like I do all the time. I just kind of freestyle these videos. I do have like little notes and stuff like that to help me somewhat stay on topic if I do lose track. But let's see, how would we start this? I think let's just rewind. I don't think I got to talk about It's Dark in Here too much, so we're going to start there because that's a good starting point. I don't think escapism happens without making It's Dark in Here. So that's like really kind of like a cool combination. So one of my buddies, he actually said that this could have been on It's Dark in Here in a way, but I do like how they're kind of two different vibes, but I do know what he means by that. This could be like a part two, he said. But I think separate projects is the way to go with that. And yeah, because like it's dark in here. I mean, off-putting, cover art, from the cover art down to the lyrical content to the instrumentals, just to the vibes. They're kind of haunting, maybe certain like psychedelic feel. Kind of like, if you know me as an artist, I kind of dive into that psychedelic. Um, I actually had an old guy tell me he made me show him a song of mine, and he said that I remind him of Pink Floyd. I don't think I do, but I kind of understand what he's talking about, you know. Um, but yeah, it's dark in here, you know. That it could have been off-putting to a lot of people. Maybe you're too even scared to click the thing because that was my worst performing album, but I do know that that was like a lot of growth. And I do think that there's a place for that. I always say like I'm not too worried about that because nobody listens to my shit anyway. So there's that. The other thing is I do look at this as a form of entertainment, and I do kind of lean into some of the stuff that I was doing on there a little bit harder, but it was true feelings. Like it's 100% like what I was feeling and all that kind of stuff. And I know I had a video where I said like don't be alarmed. Like I truly didn't want anybody to be alarmed with that project. It's just that uh like there's a place for it. It's just one piece to the puzzle that I'm trying to build here, and it's gonna take time to actually build what I got going on. I don't even know if these songs are actually going to even stay in my catalog by the time, like, let's say a couple of years goes on, and I'm way better than I am now. If this music is still doing really good and people love this stuff, I'm gonna keep it on there. But like if I do upgrade to a level that I know I could probably hit in the future, I definitely could see myself cleaning up the catalog a little bit, just putting high quality shit out there, all that kind of stuff. But was really proud of It's Dark in Here. It's not the best production or like mixing, mastering. It's not the best vocals. I'm not the best singer for one. I do know how to use my voice, and I think escapism is where I truly shined and found it. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, It's Dark in Here, doing all that kind of stuff really taught me a lot. And then this came out of it. And after that, I felt like I devoted a lot of energy to It's Dark in Here. And like, I dropped it, I released it, I was happy with it. Um, and I was just like checking the plays every day, the stats and shit. I love to do that. I shouldn't do that all the time, but I do. I'm human. Everybody's curious. Oh, how is this doing? You know what I mean? And yeah, but I would look and it just wasn't moving the needle too much. And I'm like, damn, 6 songs and I spent a lot of time. I think it's my best stuff, but I understand. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are out there listening to really good vibe stuff. This is more like in like a different type of realm, and it just makes sense to me. I don't know how to explain it. It makes sense why that's not the most played. Um, but fun fact, Stars and Planets off that album did end up becoming a power horse. So there is one song that just kind of bursted out of nowhere in the stats and stuff like that. I think that one's getting played in Turkey. Um, and then there's another song getting played in France, but that's not part of that album, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. But that was stuck with myself. If you're curious, go check that out too. That's another one where I thought, like, at the time, this is before these projects and stuff, I was like, this is my best song. And I dropped that thing, and I just didn't get the same reaction as I felt from it from other people. And I was like, man, maybe it sucks. And you know, uh, and now that one is actually sometimes my number one song on the stats. It changes every day, but Stars and Planets and Stuck with Myself are doing really well, and it's crazy. And it's not anybody local, it's nobody like that. It's literally a different country. So that's just the world we live in nowadays is truly amazing. Um, Fast forward after It's Dark in Here, and I think a week went by where I just absorbed the music that I made. I would listen to the old stuff, blah blah, trying to figure out where I'm going next with things, and I was kind of like feeling in like a funk, especially not only do you feel these like emotional feelings that you're going through with whatever it is, but also when you're creating something and you're filling yourself with that vibe and just making music about it, you start to like manifest this ball of dark anyway. So like it's kind of like a double whammy in a way, and that's the shit I think a lot of, if you're an artist watching this, I think you go through that too. You might start to just sit in that mental filth, I guess. And it's just how it works. Escapism, it's not like it got into like a super happy point, but I did know that like uh it's like coming from It's Dark in Here to escapism. Escapism was gonna be a like brighter, but still meaningful and still kind of in my feelings and stuff, but it's a little bit more brighter. It's a little bit softer than that other one. But let's get into it. Well, I'm kind of going on a super big tangent there, a little bit of ranting too much, but let's bring it back. So after It's Dark in Here, I started to feel like I didn't know where I wanted to go. Writer's block was setting in too. That's one thing. After you drop a project, you fall in. You A lot of times I do anyway. Is I fall into a writer's block because you just spent so much time. You knew where you were going. You had a point A to point B, and everything's flowing. It's easier to get into the flow state, stuff like that. And then when you start from scratch, you have no clue where you're gonna go. I am a big believer that if uh, if you're having writer's block, you should still try to write stuff because all writer's block really is overthinking and lack of inspiration sometimes. But developing your own inspiration through just forcing yourself through it, it's like I think I heard Joe Rogan say something like, it's you the hard part about going to the gym is like putting your sneakers on and tying those bitches and then walking out the door. That's kind of what it is. Like you have this resistance that's keeping you from, lacing up your sneakers and just doing it. But I do think there's definitely some value in that in a lot of things that we do. So what this project actually, so no direction or anything. I just kind of worked through this writer's block and I made the number one song on here, Born Again. And as soon as I made that, I didn't realize, like, I was like, it sounds all right. I think it could be definitely a nice like intro song, like first song on a project. I knew it had some kind of some kind of like that texture for that. Um, let's see here. Trying to think. Yeah, but I made that and um, one second. And yeah, I didn't think too much of it, so I just kept going. I made a couple more songs. A lot of these songs actually didn't make it to this project. They might be on the next one, but I'm not really sure yet. They might not even come out, but I did listen to some last night. I'm like, these could probably go out there, and I do have enough in the vault to make another project if I want. But also, with today's age, it used to be when I was like coming up a little bit more, like when I was younger, a song a week and like music, get that shit out there, blah blah blah. Now it's kind of falling back to where you can actually take your time with music as long as you're keeping up with social media like shorts on YouTube and TikToks, just short form content like that. I like to do this long form too to dive in deeper for the people who do want to listen to this. And I don't blame you if you don't. There's so much other shit to watch out there. And that's another reason I'm thankful if you made it even this far that, like you could watch anything, but you chose to watch this. And that's awesome. I do spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff and trying to, work it. Um, but yeah, so a lot of those songs didn't make the project, but eventually, song number two came on, and that was Lonely. And I didn't plan to make those in order like that. It just so happened. All these songs actually happened in order. Like I made Born Again first, Lonely second, Waterfalls third, and Free like, fourth. And that just so happened that they fit really well together like that too. So that was like, just another meant to be type moment. But Lonely came up and I made the I was going for like something new, something fresh I've never did before. Um, this whole period of time, actually. That's why all the songs are how they are. It still sounds like me and all that. And the sound that I've been developing that you could hear in, some of the past songs and stuff like that, you can definitely hear elements of that being put into this, but in a better, well thought out, formed way. But I remember making Lonely, and I knew it was like, I don't know, off the bat, I was like, this is so different and weird. And every time I showed my buddies or something, they were like, this is different, but it's good though. I think I had John maybe hating on it a little bit too, but he's kind of the hater in the group, but it's good to have somebody like that too. You don't want like yes men around you, but like uh he can sometimes hate a little too much, but he's also one of the best to give credit where it's due too. And then me and Dill, we both just like art a lot. So like it's hard for me to even hate on art, but I definitely will critique some stuff and he'll critique stuff from me. And same with like John. It's a good relationship there. But I remember I sent them Lonely and it had an open verse and I told Dill that uh I wanted him on this song because I haven't really heard him hit something like this because I haven't even heard myself hit something like this. And I was like, just splatter your paint on it. It's just a canvas, and I got what I got. You just splatter your side of the paint and just try to be creative and do something a little different than whatever it is, but no pressure, obviously. And he comes in and nails the verse for that. So thank you to him for like literally seeing what needed to happen and then executing it. It was just awesome. I'm mind blown every time he sends me a verse. He's came a long way. I think we all really did. And so Lonely, like just to dive into like what it means a little bit. I know I didn't do that for Born Again, but that's pretty straightforward. We'll just go through Born Again real quick. Born Again to me is like obviously like I'm entering this new light of I think I picture it as like a confidence because I'm very confident in that song and I am hitting like crazy falsetto vocals, like these really high pitched fucking squeals in a way. They ended up turning out nice, and you know, I could only imagine what anybody out there like was like, what the fuck is he making in there? But in that verse, I'm trying to think of what I say here. What was it? All I know is I'm talking about, let me just sum it up. I'm talking about being in a small town. That's where I grew up, is a small town, if you don't know. And I do, first off, I don't want to like, because I know a lot of small town people and I love pretty much them all. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna try to come off like I'm putting anybody down. I'm just saying what I felt growing up in a small town would have been like I felt like I've always been a dreamer since a very young age. I always either wanted to go to the NBA. I just didn't end up really tall. And life will direct you somewhere else. You can't always be what you want in some aspect. I mean, it's definitely possible at my height to go to the NBA. I just kind of knew it probably wasn't in my cards. And same with MLB, same with NFL, and it probably changed with the seasons over like when football season was around, that's what I wanted. When baseball season, basketball season, blah blah blah, it just kind of swung around. But when I found music, I was like, this is what I want to do. But always been a dreamer, and in a small town, as I'm looking around, which isn't totally true. Like I think small town people are some of the biggest dreamers. I know a lot of people can relate to this. And I know that it's so enclosed that everybody knows each other, so it's harder to like put yourself out there. I do think especially like with art, like music, you're putting a piece of yourself, maybe a vulnerable like piece in there, and you're giving away a chunk of you for anybody to say whatever they want out there. So that could be a scary feeling. It's like standing in front of like a big crowd naked or something, you know. It can really feel like that. Same with like TikTok shorts and YouTube and stuff like that. I'm always nervous when I drop them, and it's just this natural human thing that we want to be accepted. And uh, even though I don't really care what people think, I would be lying if I said I didn't care, um, even a little bit. You know, I do. Like everybody wants to be accepted. You want people to love your music. You want like people to like your videos or the content you're trying to do. And yeah, so you're putting yourself out there. And that song to me is just, like growing up, I would look around, it just seemed like people are living these simple lives and that's what they want. And if they want that, that's awesome. I know that some of them just felt never got the chance, or they had the chance and they still have the chance, but they whatever was inside of them telling them they can't do it, it just probably weighed heavy. Um, so I said like some like small dreams surround me in that, and I'm saying like, like I'm looking around and I just feel like people's sights aren't set high enough and stuff like that. And um, the reason I say I'm confident in the song too is I have a line where I say opportune movements never existed. They seem so far fetched, but I'm a dog. And then I say throw it. And then the beat drops and then born again, like it just comes in with this anthem sounding beautifulness to me anyway. And um it's just like I needed to be confident again and have a nice little line there, you know what I mean? I do think in that line, I mean, yeah, so far fetch. I'm a dog. Throw it. I'm gonna go after it. That's pretty much what I'm saying there. Anyway, let's get back to Lonely. Sorry for going back again. I might do that many times until maybe 100 videos down the road. I'll still be doing that. Uh, Lonely. So Jay Dilly has the feature, killed it. Lonely to me, I would say, and I don't want to go too deep into these lyrics and stuff like that because there's such a big part of like you guys experiencing the art and looking at it in your own lens and trying to decipher what I mean, blah blah blah. But I will touch on surface level shit. Um, Lonely is like, I think in the beginning I say, come on, let's focus this camera a little bit. Come on, dude. 1 second. And we're back. Alright, well, that was unfortunate. I got done with the whole video and I noticed, the audio cut out like halfway through, and that pisses me off because I thought I had a good video on my hands. So I'm just going to try to make this really quick to end it, so I apologize, but it's going to be tough to like even talk about the same shit because I don't even remember what I talked about and stuff, but I do remember I ended on Lonely. Jay Dilly feature, it's kind of about um being alone and wanting to be alone, but sometimes you like crave people, but even when you're with people you feel alone and blah 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 and like, you know, you want to be alone but you don't want to be alone. You're feeling alone, like, like there's there's some there's stuff in there, but anyway, let's go to song 3. That's Waterfalls. Me and my girlfriend Ashley actually made a music video for that. It's my first music video ever, and I think we did decent for only spending 4 hours making the thing. And we used an iPhone I mean, we just needed to. I was just excited, and I was like, let's just make a video. I don't care, you know. We picked waterfalls because I thought it would be a good like video or like a easier song to make a video to. Plus, I really enjoy that song, so I was like, let's just hit him with this, and I like how it turned out. I mean, it's not perfect. There's things that I would like to be better, uh, but that's how it is. First video ever, 4 hours. It's only up from here. We're gonna get better as we make more videos, and yeah, that's just now it's going blurry, dude. This is what I hate. This is what I hate right here. Ah, come on, refocus. Nice. Um, yeah, you know, I don't know. That's a meaningful song to go into that a little bit too. Is like I'll just bring up a couple lyrics, not go too far into it. It's kind of like a lot of things in one thing, but like I say you'll always be the first one to hear when you're fucking up. And what I mean by that in most aspects, but there is two things, two sides to it. One reason I mean is like when you're fucking up, you're the first person to know because you are doing it. You know you're fucking up and stuff like that. So that's that. There is also like maybe your boss, your parents, your anything. You know what I mean? Just anybody, your friends, blah blah blah. They might tell you that you're fucking up and stuff like that. So you're gonna hear it from them and blah blah. Anyway, there's that, and then a couple more lyrics. I say you'll you'll always be the first one to know when you're falling. Waterfalls, I just go with the flow. I like that line a lot because it really fits me. I think there's been times where I was up here, like felt like I was doing some good stuff in life. Not always, even though I might have looked up here, like at least I'm still not where I want to like be. You know what I mean? Like what I mean by that is I might not be aligned with what I'm supposed to be doing or what I really truly love to do. So you can be up here, but maybe you're not happy. You know what I mean? And you can, and I've been down here. I got to a nice spot, and then I kind of started falling again, and here we are. That's what it is. Um, I like, and I just go with the flow. Like a waterfall would. We were just falling with the flow. And a big problem I have, the reason why I think I have so much anxiety is like I try to control a lot of things, like things that are out of my control and blah blah blah. And you just gotta kind of live and just be, you know. Don't overthink and just live, and just surrender. Surrender to anything that comes your way. You know what I mean? Like, uh, and that's kind of like what I'm trying to get to is just surrendering to the shit that I can't control, and that's that. Anyway, song number 4 on the project is called Free. That's kind of like, it's like you know I'm we're trying to be free. I think a lot of people relate to that. You might think you're held down or whatever it is. Like we're just trying to escape, trying to be free is one of my lyrics, and that like means something to me. I think it might mean something to you too. Maybe you relate to that, maybe you don't, maybe you're content and you're exactly in the right mind state and headspace that you need to be in. And if you are, that's awesome. But see, even this stuff is just dinging and donging and shit. Um and And then yeah, and we'll just that I'm not gonna go too much into that song, but I do love that song. It kind of like feels like this anti-anxiety, everything's gonna be all right. Although the lyrics aren't really saying that, it gives me that feel. And I do like ending my projects with like an anti-anxiety type feeling song. I did that with Trash Raps with Ride the Wave, and I I really love to end a project like that. I don't know why, but it's not like it's gonna happen every project. It's just that's how these ones kind of landed. And to sum up the project here, it's called Escapism. Like, you know, I, the cover art is great. Love that. Love the music in it. I think it's the best stuff up to date. Really deep, really thoughtful. Every ounce of it, as I try to do with most of all of my projects. Um, and it's called Escapism. And literally, I just, I try to, like I always like. I don't know if I said this because I did have to retake this fucking shit a couple times because of all the technical difficulties, not by choice. But I will just explain that I do like to fall into the trap of trying to escape reality and real life. And, like at nighttime, it might be all good and like I'm escaping. Maybe I'm binge watching Mr. Ballin videos. Maybe I'm playing video games. Maybe I'm drinking. Maybe I'm doing them all at the same time, whatever it is. Like I'm having a great time at that point, and then I go to bed, and probably later than I should have. I wake up tired, um, and reality hits again, and it's kind of this constant toxic cycle. And yeah, so like I try to escape, and that's like one of my downfalls, but it made some good music, so we're gonna take that. Anyway, if you guys made it this far, truly amazing because my videos and your favorite content creator on YouTube, the stats show people clicking off the video as the video goes on. The longer it is, just the more fall off it has. So if you made it to the end, I love it. I love you. Thank you for doing that. It's actually amazing that you even took the time out of your day to listen to me fucking rant about my music and shit like that. And I hope you guys enjoy the music. I hope it really means something to you. And hopefully it helps you through a hard time if you're going through a hard time. And if you're not going through a hard time, maybe you just really like it as a piece of art. Maybe you see it in that light, and I love that. But thank you guys for watching. Have a good night. Adios.
Since a youngin', been marching to my own beat. I'm lit at the function, don't wanna make a fool of myself, I must retreat. Indeed, I'm a minimalist but still sleek. Ventriloquist, puppets and sheep, just a couple things I don't really need. I'm in my zone, please leave me alone. I'm in my zone, please leave me alone. No place to go, so I guess I'll stay here. Yeah, I guess I'll stay here. Myself just sitting there looking around, it's just you. I don't really give a fuck no more, I'm looking around, there's no clues.